There has been an ongoing online battle between Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen and CNN international correspondent Larry Madowo regarding the state of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Now, this whole argument began on Tuesday. This was almost immediately after Larry Madowo had made this shining light on the fact that Jomo Kenyatta International Airport does not have canopies to protect the passengers from rainfall.
Landing in the rain, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. No shelter, but this is not even the worst part. Look at this situation. International guests have to deal with this.
On Citizen National Television, the CS accused Larry Madowo of seeing all this suddenly because he is living abroad.
I saw one of your friends taking videos at the airport and saying, "Oh, you know this airport?
It was flooded, right?
No, it's raining on people when they exit." And you know, I was laughing because Larry was with us in the country for the last 50 years when that airport was like that. But suddenly, because he lives now in Maju, suddenly his eyes are opened and realized that there is no shade in when you exit JKIA. And
but it's a fact. There's no canopy, right?
No, it happens to all of us when we travel, because those questions should have been asked for the last since 1978.
Okay.
And so it's not news that JKIA doesn't have a canopy for shielding.
And Larry Madowo, being the journalist that he is and the lure that he is, he definitely had to clap back. And he clapped back with not just words, but even evidence and receipts. So he tweeted and said, JKIA still won't protect us from the rain after all these years. Do we have no capacity? For shame. Your leaders don't experience this JKIA shame because they get picked up from the plane to an exclusive government VIP section and then straight into a waiting car. They don't mix with the masses. But I'll keep posting until things improve. He also responded to Murkomen's remark that he had suddenly started seeing all these malfunctions at the JKIA because he is living abroad by saying, this tweet is from 2014. Does this look like suddenly to you? And indeed, there is a tweet here of Larry Madowo talking about JKIA, saying that it is the only major airport where passengers wander on the airside looking for the aircraft like it's a treasure hunt. So that was on 28th March 2014. And as I've said, he proceeded to share evidence and more scripts. So he had more tweets of himself complaining about the state of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport since way back then, from 2018, from 2017. So he had all these times that he had complained about the state of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And so he was trying to prove that he hadn't just suddenly started to recognize all these faults. He further told Kipchumba Murkomen that he does not have anything against him and that, in fact, he wants him to succeed. He said, I want you to succeed. I point out these issues because I love my country. I want it to work for everyone, not just the powerful and privileged. I'm just a citizen who refuses to support mediocrity in the name of positivity. We deserve nice things, all of us. Now, as we all know, of course, Kipchumba Murkomen also had something to say about all this, and this is what he said. He stated that Larry Madowo was using his influence to amplify negativity in the country and advised him against doing so. And I quote, do you want to tell me that there is nothing good in JKIA? Do you want to say that the only good thing you saw with the expressway is the few minutes of blocked drainage? Stop amplifying negatives and have a balanced attitude towards life and progress. Use your global amazing voice to amplify negativity. Your colleagues working for CNN don't do that when they visit their home countries. You are now a big brand. You are not just being followed by folks from Nyalgunga or Embombut. Every time you visit your country or continent and you amplify negativity, then you build a false imbalanced image of your motherland. At this point, as we look at how these exchanges were going on between Larry Madowo and CS Murkomen, you've probably selected a side that you are supporting. And I'd like to hear what you think in the comment section. But this is how some netizens reacted toward Kipchumba Murkomen, to this tweet that Kipchumba Murkomen had made on X. A netizen going by the name Samuel Wekesa went ahead and said, Larry just wants attention. He has been in countries with airports worse than JKIA. Give Kenya Kwanza at least 2 more years. Another netizen went ahead and said, you are too idle. Just focus on delivering a canopy at JKIA and come back here with results. Stop mentioning election in your media debates. Kenyans are tired of mediocrity. On the other hand, we also had another person agreeing with CS Murkomen by saying, I agree with Waziri. Larry Madowo, please share with the world the positive news of the genius KK discovery. Donkey poop and sad fertilizer, maybe others can benefit from it, like the Kenyan farmers. Actually, that was a bit of sarcasm there. And so we can see how Kenyans were reacting to what Murkomen was saying and this exchange between Murkomen and Larry Madowo. Now, if you think it stopped here, trust me, it did not. Larry Madowo, being the journalist that he is and understanding the importance of receipts, came with more receipts showing that he and Kipchumba Murkomen were once on the same page. The ones both saw what poor state Jomo Kenyatta International Airport was in and actually spoke about it. He went ahead to share these tweets of Kipchumba Murkomen from 2014 saying that the traffic jam at JKIA gate is terrible. The airport ain't looking international. He also went ahead and shared further. He also went ahead and shared more tweets of Kipchumba Murkomen complaining about the poor state of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. You can never quite tell the magnitude of the JKIA disaster unless you are working, doing business, or traveling in JKIA. Breaking news, there are traffic controllers on a go-slow, inordinate delays experienced in JKIA. So all this is evidence that at one point in time, Larry Madowo and Kipchumba Murkomen were seeing from the same eye. Kipchumba Murkomen, knowing that he had been defeated at this time, responded by quoting a Bible verse and saying, you are still justifying your misdemeanors. Bro, you never get it. Read 1 Corinthians 13:11-2. Dear listener, what Corinthians 13:11-12 says is, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. To me, this felt really wrong. This felt like brainwashing. To me, this felt like he already knew he had lost the battle, so he pulled out the Bible card. And I noticed that a couple of netizens also felt this as well. I read just a couple of comments. Umeshindwa kupiga comeback hadi unatumia Bible verse. Another netizen went ahead and said umeamua kujidefend na Bible. And another netizen went ahead and said ukitoka hiyo fellowship ya the first lady, kindly respond appropriately ama tukupe mpaka kesho jioni ukimaliza the scheduled fasting ya every Wednesday. Larry Madowo then decided to play the game that his correspondent was playing, and he also pulled out a Bible card. This is what he said, just pointing out how you've changed because you and I were on the same page in 2014. Bro, you are the only one who is still not getting it. Read James 1-5. Dear listener, again, James 1-5 says, if any one of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. That was just like telling CS Murkomen that he lacks wisdom straight up. And so he had thrown some shade there, and people, of course, celebrated him. And it's just about time we call out these people. Okay, so someone tried to defend Kipchumba Murkomen, and by someone, I mean Senator Ledama Olekina, who posted on Twitter and said, or X and said, this problem is all over. At Kipchumba Murkomen, try your level best. I wonder what my friend at Larry Madowo would say about this first world country's airport. He was referring to the airport At this point, I think it's safe to say that I'm on Larry Madowo's side because he came with receipts, he came with facts, and clearly there is something wrong with the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. So many complaints from Kenyans, so many complaints, and instead of the people who are responsible fixing these problems, they're actually coming to televisions and giving us excuses, lame excuses that do not make sense, and making even more promises, which we know or which we feel they won't fulfill. He was referring to the recent floods incident that we have seen taking place in Dubai. The airport was flooded, making it difficult for planes to land on the runway. However, this comparison just ain't it, because it's just not making sense. For example, a netizen here went ahead and said, so just because gunfights happen in US, we should not do our best in Kenya to handle it. This is no metric at all to compare. And Larry Madowo actually agrees with this person, because this is not the right metric to use to compare. Because the recent floods in Dubai have actually been announced to be the largest amount of rainfall during the past 75 years. Larry Madowo said comparing a few showers in Nairobi with Dubai's 75-year record rainfall is wild. And I definitely agree, that is indeed wild. And you can see how these senators and these leaders are uniting to defend their impunity. And for me, this is just what it is, and it's a shame to see them doing that. So I'm definitely on the side of Larry Madowo, and I'd like you to let me know in the comment section, whose side are you on? This argument or this online spat is definitely going on. For Larry Madowo's latest tweet on X is, when stupidity is considered patriotism, it is unsafe to be intelligent. We're here to see whether it will continue from there or imefungiwa hapo, with that amazing quote from Isaac Asimov.
First of all, I'm happy with the progress so far with the JKIA reform processes. Of course, you haven't called me again about generator and blackout. But as I told you, this is very old facilities. And these old facilities require now a massive overhaul. For a long period of time, we've been patching. For example, the runway lights at Wilson gave in the other day when it rained heavily, because these are lights that were buried under the soil. They didn't have the ducts that are used for putting cables, because very old. So we had to repair them the other day. Runways at the Wilson, for example, still needs a lot of, including taxiways. In the JKIA, the same. This is massively dilapidated infrastructure for a long period of time. By the way, I saw one of your friends taking videos at the airport and saying, "Oh, you know, this airport
it was flooded." Right?
No, it's raining on people when they exit." And you know, I was laughing because Larry was with us in the country for the last 50 years when that airport was like that. But suddenly, because he lives now in Maju, suddenly his eyes are opened and realize that there is no shade in when you exit JKIA. And
but it's a fact. It happens. No canopy, right?
No, it happens to all of us when we travel, because those questions should have been asked for the last since 1978.
Okay.
And so it's not news that JKIA doesn't have a canopy for shielding passengers. It's a fact.
But is there a plan to put?
Yes, there is a plan. So the plan that we have as Kenya is that I promised the country that we are going to leverage on private sector, and our thinking now is to find ways of getting private sector investment to come in and build a new terminal and build a new JKIA. What I want to tell Kenyans, because the plans are still in very infant stage, we're working out how best we can do that, is to promise the people of Kenya that by the time we are going to the next elections, you will have a new terminal, at least complete or almost complete. That will make JKIA a more competitive airport with facilities that are enviable and make us